Coming up, we'll tell you about why Lakers Warriors was the sadder bowl of the weekend, why the Jazz have crossed a line in the tank wars, and why the Hornets will not lose. All that and more. Locked On Game Night is here.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
Welcome to Locked On NBA Game Night. Brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your day, being an everydayer, making us your first listen 7 days a week. The show is on. Appreciate you guys being with us. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review or like and subscribe at youtube.com/LockedOnNBA. My name is Matt Moore. I've been covering the NBA as a credentialed reporter I've been credentialed for 16 seasons. I've been covering it for 18. Credentialed for 16. You catch me at Locked On Nuggets, Locked On NBA Daily, Monday through Friday. Really great, fun show. I have 2 Substacks. I write the Action Network. I do lots of stuff. His name is Swipa. You can catch him at SwipaCam on Twitter and on YouTube. He's got his own show. He's on Player's Choice. He's on Locked On NFL Game Night. He's on Press Box. He has many things. He's a man of many, many hats. And he's joined me here late on a Saturday to break down a night of NBA action and give you the scoop on all the stuff. How's it going, Swipa?
Oh, no, this is great. People are like, wait, we're getting a live Locked On Game Night show? We'd never get these. So I know that people are very glad to get this. That means anything that happens late at night as you get ready for your Sunday morning, you will get it live. So if you hear noise outside, just know people are enjoying their Saturday. So shout out to you all, man. This is going to be a great episode. I can't wait. People are like, is this Locked On Nuggets? It's like, no. This actually is a very random occurrence, but Matt and I work so well. It was so easy. This is peanut butter jelly time. I cannot wait to get to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I don't want to be John Stockton. Don't make me be John Stockton. And you are definitely not Karl Malone. All right.
See, that's the duo. I don't want either one of them.
Nope, not either one. Not either one of them. How about Nash and Amare? We'll call it that. All right. So we're going to start here with the LeBron and the Lakers. Lakers get the win in a barn burner on national TV, 105-99 over the Warriors. This game was sad. This game was really, really sad. It was an old washed LeBron versus the Warriors without Steph Curry, without Jimmy Butler, without Kristaps Porzingis. It was just a truly sad affair. LeBron played well in this one, 20 points, 6 of 17 from the field, but he did have 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, the usual LeBron stuff. Like, he was okay. He didn't shoot the ball well, but he was pretty good, +7. The bigger thing, though, is just like the Warriors offense was atrocious. And this really, my big thing with this game is I cannot stand the way the Kerr has configured this offense this year, because he's trying to run basically, it's like a high octane 3-point. It's almost Missoula ball in how casual they are with their 3-point attempts, but they don't have shooters. Model your game a little bit around it. I was very unimpressed. Even Austin Reaves, 16 points, 5 of 10 shooting, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, but 5 turnovers for Reaves. No DeAndre Ayton tonight. He sat out. It was an ugly, ugly affair. Draymond Green, 9 points, a +11 in this one because they actually defended when he was on the floor, but 9 points on 9 shots. Moses Moody was the only Warrior I thought that played well. We're going to hear from Locked On Lakers and get their thoughts on this quote unquote big win for the Lakers.
This is Brian Kamenetsky, co-host of Locked for DeAndre Ayton, but the Lakers are able to get past the Stephless Golden State Warriors, 105-99 final score in this one. Not a dominant game from the Lakers by any stretch. LeBron James wasn't great. Austin Reaves, coming off the bench still with a minutes restriction, played well but wasn't dominant like he was against the Sixers the other night. But the Lakers did get 6 players in double figures. Jared Vanderbilt was outstanding. New acquisition Luke Kennard was very strong in his Lakers debut, hitting 2 of his 4 3-pointers and finishing in double figures himself. And even Maxi Kleber, who did not score much in this game, finished the game for the Lakers and was very strong on particularly on the defensive side. So they got a lot of contributions, picked up a win that they needed to have. The good news coming from the Lakers, Luka Doncic is not believed to have suffered a serious hamstring injury against the Sixers. The Lakers are hoping to have him back reasonably soon, and with only 2 games left before the All-Star break, the timing is actually pretty good. So plenty more to come on Locked On Lakers about this one, and we'll also get you ready for this last stretch before everyone goes on break.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that when you talk about Steve Kerr, my first thought in this game is like, shout out to Moses Moody, 25 points. But where would this team be without Pat Spencer? And if you would have asked me last year if I ever would have said that about the Warriors, I would have told you crazy. I think Pat, if you watch the way that he plays, I don't know who else they can trust to dribble the ball and try to create. Like outside of DHOs with Draymond and just trying to manufacture 3-pointers, they don't have anybody that can consistently beat you off the dribble. Pods has regressed like crazy this year. And especially given where his value was like just 2 years ago when he was a rookie, you just would have thought that you would have got a lot more from him at this point. And obviously this Lakers team, they're dealing with a lot of injuries themselves. This was honestly a team that and again, I just talked about this the other day, that win that the Golden State Warriors got over the Phoenix Suns when they went on a 25 run to close out the game in order to win the game. I mean, that was like a bunch of shot luck that went their side. And when they don't have that, especially without Steph Curry in the lineup, they are not good. And that offense was horrible for most of the game. But the Lakers, they won. They pulled it out. They continue to try to stay into the fight in the Western Conference playoff standing. There's obviously a lot going on for them right now. But look, I'm excited for LeBron. I know he didn't play like crazy well this year, but he has played well for stretches in this season. I think the healthier that he gets, the further away he gets from how he started off in the regular season or the early regular season, I think he's going to be in a really good spot. Shout out to Jaxson Hayes, too. Like, he continues to play good rim protection. Jake LaRavia, obviously, still trying to figure some stuff out. But Austin Reaves played an incredible game this last game. I'm excited for him to get back to that, like, borderline all-NBA level he was playing at. So the Lakers, even without Luka, they got a lot to look forward to. But he's right. Getting the fact that you're going to have a long 8-day break, not having to worry about playing any basketball games for the Lakers, I think that's going to do them really well. And they could be one of the surprise teams on the other side of the All-Star break as well.
The Lakers had 22 turnovers in this game.
Yeah, it was some mess.
It was disgusting. The thing that really stood out to me when I was watching this was LeBron's body language with Rui Hachimura. It's pretty painful. Every time Rui makes any sort of mistake, LeBron's body language is just like the most disappointed father in the entire world. He's just got that dad energy all the time. Just like, why are you the way that you are? And I really feel like he should do that a lot more with Jaxson Hayes, honestly, because I think Jaxson Hayes is actually a really undisciplined player as well. This is not a win that the Lakers should feel good about, but you take him where you can get him without Luka Doncic, and the Lakers get the win. Elsewhere, James Harden makes his debut for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and after a really rough start, came around and got to where it needed to go. They actually got the game that they needed from James Harden in the fourth quarter. 15 points on 4 of 4 shooting, 3 of 3 from deep in the fourth quarter. This is a back and forth game. Kings played really great. I thought coming out of the half, they played. I thought excellent ball, and we're really getting it going. Nick Clifford was great in this game. They were extremely shorthanded as well. They missed everybody sat for the Kings in this one, as that's going to be a trend for the rest of the season with all these teams. We're going to talk about that coming up in a little bit. But hey, they are 1-0 now, and the Harden with the start of Harden started off really small with Sam Merrill. And that was tough, but the bench came through really for the Cavs. That was the difference. Thomas Bryant was a plus 24 in this game. He gave them great inside protection. He played his backside off defensively. I thought he was great. Dennis Schroeder came in and gave them good minutes. Keon Ellis with a plus 20, only 6 points, but shot efficiently. And the Kings were a young team that wasn't able to keep up. And in the end, the Cavs pulled away to get the win with Harden.
So what's funny is in the third quarter, it turned into a little bit of mano-a-mano shootout between the Kings and between the Cavaliers. And the Kings started going on a run where they started making a bunch of threes. And they had a really, really great performance in a stretch for Devin Carter, who played a really good offensive game, especially given how he's played over the last 2 years. But he had like an and one layup. They were going back and forth. Nick Clifford hit another pull-up three. But then on the other end, Dennis was there just a few months ago. And so Dennis tried to go back and forth doing pull-up threes. And I was like, that's not going to help you get back in this game. But they were able to take over in the fourth quarter. And, and you brought it up, man. Like, again, James Harden, and I think a lot of Cleveland fans are going to come to grips with this. He might not be great for the entire game, but you're going to get pockets of greatness from James Harden. He had 15 points in the fourth quarter. And, Matt, what's so funny is Cleveland makes this trade for James, hoping to have a sidekick to work with Donovan Mitchell down the stretch of the game. Fourth quarter, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden combined 32 points, and they were 10 of 13 from the field to get the win in Sacramento in a game that was a lot tougher than I think a lot of people thought it would be going into it.
Donovan Mitchell, 35 points now on 13 of 24 shooting, was only 2 of 8 from 3. He was killer inside the arc. If he'd gotten a few threes to drop, would have had a 40 ball here tonight. 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I just love the way Donovan's played this year. I think the Cavs are disappointed, and it has not been on Donovan. I just think that he's played great this year and just needs a little more help, which is one of the reasons they went out to get Harden for him. And so they get 58 points from those two. Jarrett Allen, by the way, 29 points after his 40 ball last week. Jarrett's playing great. Maybe the Cavs are going to get something going here with, getting better depth. Naquan Tomlin got some guys going. I actually really like the Cavs young guys tonight, or the Kings young guys tonight. I liked Daquan Plowden. I thought he played really well to start in this game. Nick Clifford dropped a 30 ball on 5 of 9 shooting from 3, 12 of 19 from the field. I actually kind of like the young guys for the Kings, which is not something I say very often.
Yeah, I think Devin Carter, he's one of those situations where he just needs an opportunity, and we're going to get to, obviously Rob Dillingham later with the Bulls. I think it's just one of those things. You got to figure out how to either be good or be bad, and I think Devin's been in such a limited role. And by the way, this is without Keegan Murray, who did not play tonight. They have a few young players on the roster that I think just need more opportunity, so hopefully he gets it going forward.
All right, coming up, the tanking is out of control, and Jazz fans don't want to hear it, but we got to talk about it. That's next on Locked On NBA Game Night. The season's heating up, and DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season more fun. Every player's got their bag. With DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snack stocked, your gear fresh, and your watch party vibes absolutely on point. There are nights when the team stresses you out. Let DoorDash become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you just need dessert now. Those late-night interviews hit and suddenly you need chips at midnight. DoorDash is built exactly for that. And if the group chat says pull up, DoorDash makes sure you show up prepared. Snacks, cups, even a phone charger for that friend who's always at 2%. I used DoorDash today to find the exact brand of energy drink that I've been looking for all over town, and I couldn't find it at like 5 different stores, but I pull up DoorDash, and I got it immediately in my bag. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season delivered right to your door. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. We're also brought to you today by Quo. New year's, new systems. This is a time when a lot of us look at the messier parts of how we run our businesses and think, there's got to be a better way. And there is. Streamlining your communications is one of the quickest upgrades that you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. When your team's reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. You got to love how Quo makes everything simple. Your whole team can call and text from one shared business number so nothing ever gets missed, and everyone sees the full conversation thread, which makes replies faster and more personal. It's no surprise, Quo is the #1 rated business phone systems on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses from solo operators to growing teams. Make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/lockedonnba. That's quo.com/lockedonnba. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. We'll be right back on Locked On NBA Game Night. Back here on Locked On NBA Game Night. Thanks for making this your first listen. Appreciate you guys being with us. Do I need to go faster? Is that what you're doing?
No, that was great. Great job. Late night ad reads, man. One of a kind.
Banging them out here. If you're wondering where Kuka Hill is, he had to attend the get together for Pistons fans to mourn the loss of Jaden Ivey. So sad days for Kuka Hill. Jaden Ivey played okay tonight, I thought, in the Bulls game. We'll talk about that one in a second. But we got to talk about this game. Man, the Jazz. Okay. Magic at the win 120-117. All right. First quarter is Orlando 30, Orlando 33, Jazz 30. Okay, no big deal. All right, they're hanging in. They played everybody. Jaren Jackson played in this game. Lauri Markkanen played in this game. Yusuf Nurkic played in this game. Keontae George played in this game, even though he's clearly hurt, only playing 13 minutes in this game. Second quarter comes around. 35-21, Jazz. Played awesome in the second quarter. They're up big going into the break. And then the hijinks start. And things just get absolutely disastrously wonky in this game. So as an example in this contest, Lauri Markkanen is a +2. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a +6. They were competing. They were hanging in there. In the fourth quarter, and you will notice as the game goes on, oddly, the minutes go down for the starting unit. The last quarter is 33-23. Locked On Magic's Philip Rossman-Reich has you covered for what happened from the Magic perspective.
This is Philip Rossman-Reich, the host of Locked On Magic here at the Kia Center, as the Orlando Magic raised a 17-point deficit and topple a tanking Utah Jazz team 120-117. Utah sat their starters the entire fourth quarter. That means this win doesn't feel great. The Jazz dominated this game, beat a lifeless Magic team to a pulp. And Orlando should not feel good about this win at all. But at the end of the day, they all count the same. Mo Wagner came in, provided a lot of energy on a 15-2 run that cut that 17-point deficit down to 7 at the end of the third quarter. Continue that energy into the fourth as Orlando got back in the game, and the Magic starters closed the game off. Big threes from Jalen Suggs, big shots from Mo Wagner, big shots from Desmond Bane, big defensive plays, especially from Wendell Carter, as well as Anthony Black and Jalen Suggs. Closer to Magic basketball, but considering what the Jazz did in this game, essentially throwing it away, you take them where you can get them, but it was not pretty for Orlando. Still on life support a little bit, but a win is a win. You'll take them where you can get them.
But Matt, the way it works is it's not what you think happened. It's what you can prove happened. Okay. You cannot prove that there was not an injury or an illness that came up for the starters for the Jazz. And so what if they had 49 points combined between JJJ and Lauri Markkanen in three quarters? Matt, you got to see the forest through the trees. It's time to develop Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey got to be the number one option the entire fourth quarter. Now, it didn't work out today, but you know what, Matt? We're going to give him the rest of the season to figure out if he can be a 1A option every single fourth quarter going down the stretch of the season, because it's about development, Matt. That's what's important.
My favorite part of this entire thing is that Kyle Filipowski did not play until at the end of the third, had not gotten into this game. And then he plays the entire fourth quarter. So there's a big conversation going on online about this. And my position is very simple. Tanking goes on. It's always going to go on with any draft system. Like it happens in the NFL. Teams are like, we don't want to win. We're benching our quarterback. That happens. It's okay. I get it. The way you do it does matter. Jazz fans are saying, we got to watch Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen play. And we lost, which improves our draft odds. We love this. Why are you guys mad? The problem is that you were in a competitive game and made adjustments to ensure that this game was no longer competitive, that you had you had put yourself in an opportunity to win, and you were refusing to live with that outcome. And the Raptors did this last year, and it bugged me too. So I'm not picking on the Jazz. I talked about this last year. The Raptors sat their starters in the fourth quarter, and it was infuriating to me. Like one of those games, Jacoby Walter hit a pull-up three for the win, and it was like one of the coolest wins of the season because it was like, oh, like he got to have this moment. I get developing the young talent, but this does not feel like developing the young talent. There was a moment in that game when the game was still in doubt, and Kyle Filipowski takes a crossover step back three. This was a gross performance. I have a high tolerance for tanking. So I want to ask you this, Swipa. This one or the other option is today's game between the Brooklyn Nets and the Washington Wizards. The Wizards lost 113-127 and were down 40 points at one point.
Yeah.
Because they sat everybody. Which one's more gross to you?
Probably the one where you don't get any good basketball the entire game.
You think this one's better?
Well, I don't know. Is this all bad? Whatever the bad scale is. I don't actually have a huge problem with what happened with the Jazz game. This is the NBA. That's just the way it works. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like the Jazz also have not benefited from getting a number 1 or number 2 overall pick. And if this is the draft, you're going to try to get that, then, do it. There's 4 can't miss prospects that are coming off. And you ask me, Matt Moore, I think there's a close 5th and Darius Acuff as well. So,
Ooh, pig.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. It's just. Do you wait? My real question is: this a Will Hardy call, or do you think he got something from on high that called him on the red phone during the game?
This is on high. Coaches want to win. Coaches want to win.
Mm-hmm.
I like this comment from Knowledge Power. Also, the Jazz not calling timeout down 3 and the ball doesn't get advanced, so they had to heave a 3. I mean, it was too much. This one was too much for me. And there's going to be a lot more conversation about this because you're pushing the edges here. If you put out a team that can't win because you're like, oh, they're hurt. Sorry, they're hurt. Like, that's what the Wizards are doing. Sorry, Keyshawn George has an ankle injury. We care about our players' health. The Jazz are saying, like, no. We are able to win and choosing not to. Because they got fined last year for not playing Laurie. So now they're playing him. It's a mess. It's just a mess, and it's going to get worse with how many teams are tanking. Speaking of some of these other games that were in that range, Grizzlies take the loss tonight to the Portland Trailblazers. I actually really liked what I saw out of the Grizzlies tonight. I actually thought this was a pretty good performance from them. The Blazers get the win 122-115 because, again, the Grizzlies are tanking. They started Jamal Mashak. Like, it was not good. Contavious Caldwell-Pope had 11 points on 14 shots, but I really love the minutes from Taylor Hendricks. I thought he was good. Walter Clayton Jr. didn't shoot well, but I liked some of the things that he was able to get to.
Challenge Small, too.
He had 7 assists. Omax Prosper had 25 points tonight. Omax has turned into a little bit of a guy. He was 7 of 8 from 3. If Omax can get that 3-pointer down, that's pretty good. No Scoot Henderson tonight. He was on the energy management on the second night of a back-to-back. 20 points and 19 rebounds from Donovan Clingan against a Grizzlies team that, well, they did Jaren Jackson Jr. and Jock Landale and didn't start as center. I guess Kyle Anderson started at center. So, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, like I said, I just said it, but shout out to Javon coming off the bench as well. He had a good game. I like this Portland Trailblazers team. Tamani Kamara's not having the season I thought he would have. Jeremy Grant with another 29 points. Day in the life, a non-super competitive situation for Jeremy, but he's obviously still thriving. Drew Holiday obviously looks good. He's been in and out of the lineup this year, but good win for Portland. Shout out to them.
We're behind, but I'm going to go faster. Mavericks and Spurs. Spurs get the win 138-120.
Speeding through that game? Oh, wow.
138-125. Victor Wembanyama had a sequence where he blocked a shot, ran down the floor, threw a pass, then lobbed for a huge dunk. It was absolutely ridiculous. He's an insane person. Only 16 points on 14 shots for Victor, though. Stephon Castle goes for 40, 12, and 12. I am so happy for this kid for how he has dominated after everyone was like, Dylan Harper's going to take his job. Castle has been awesome this year.
Mm-hmm. Great player. Phenomenal. I see some people saying the Houston Rockets made a mistake and they should have taken him over Reed Shepherd. And they might end up being proven to be true. Stephon Castle's a guy. I really like Stephon's game.
All right. Coming up, we're going to hit on the rest of the games. We're going to touch on those, including The Hornets might just never lose. They just might never lose ever again. We'll hit that and more coming up on Locked On NBA Game Night. Last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff. The final chance to get on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're back at the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, this is the game everyone's been waiting for. This is where predictions turn into plays, stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger. I think they're going to bracket JSN in this game. I don't think he's getting loose. I think this is a great Cooper Kupp game. I love Rashid Shaheed for Super Bowl MVP at a long number. I like the under in this game because it's going to be disgusting because this Super Bowl is a ridiculous combination of teams. Cooper Kupp, anytime touchdown. Rashid Shaheed, anytime and 2+ touchdowns because the possibility of punt return. And Hunter Henry, anytime touchdown. I'm also on Chase on sacks. I think Vrabel is going to blitz Darnold because he falls apart when he gets under pressure. Their offensive line is great, but if you do get home and you chase him out, Chase on's the one that drags those guys down when they gets flushed out of the pocket. So I'm on Chase on sacks, 1+, 2+. It's the perfect way to cap off a season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle. If you're a new customer, bet just $5 and bet $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count because after the Super Bowl, the season's over. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. We'll be right back on Locked On NBA Game Night. All right, final segment here on Locked On NBA Game Night. Swipa and me, Matt Moore. Appreciate you guys being with us here on a Saturday night. If you're enjoying your Sunday, getting ready for the big game, hope you guys have a safe and very fun Super Bowl party for whatever you're doing. What are you doing for the Super Bowl, Swipa?
Very low key, staying out the way.
I am taking my daughter to an art exhibit because that's how much I do not wish to acknowledge this ridiculous Super Bowl with the Patriots back in it. So I would have rather the other AFC team. That's how much I find myself disgusted. All right. Let's go to Sixers Suns. I didn't watch this one, so I need your breakdown on it. What do you think of Sixers Suns?
It was a very interesting game, and I think that a lot of people are going to hear that they were able to pull away the 76ers down the stretch of this game. And it wasn't off the back of Embiid having, I think, 33 and 9 in this game. He actually played pretty well, but it was Dominic Barlow. Like, that's the questions you're going to be hearing about Dominic Barlow. 18 minutes played today, but he actually made some really big plays. Off the bench, Trendon Watford. Brother Matt, they had an inbounds play. The Suns got it back within 9 with like 3.5 minutes left. They had 1 second on the clock. What happened is there was a trap in the corner, and it was Royce O'Neal, and then I think it was Goodwin. And Goodwin like kicked the ball while he was standing out of bounds to try to like tap it back into Royce. 1 second on the clock. They then did a baseline out of bounds play lob on the other side of the floor, deep right wing three. And he made the 3 and it put it back up double digit. And that was the moment I was like, yeah, the 76ers are winning this game. And it's just, they had some miracle plays they're making down the stretch. And then Dylan Brooks had like a bad ISO possession. He tried to like, throw it off the backboard into missing everything. And then Devin Booker tried to hit a pull-up 3. And then he was 1 for 7 from 3 today. I mean, they had chances to win this game. They had chances to get it back in within the single digits like earlier. But I think that the 76ers, man, they just kept pressing the right buttons. And like I said, Embiid at 33, Maxey at 29, but it was Trendon Watford and it was Barlow that was having these random plays that are being made for this team. Kelly Oubre also had some really good possessions in this game as well. So it was a good team win for the 76ers.
Yeah, Book returns tonight, and he's got Jalen Green with him. 21 points, 5 of 12 shooting, 1 of 7 from 3. 10 of 11 from the stripe for Book. Jalen Green struggled. I think this is probably part of it is they just are getting everybody back, so they got to figure out how to play because they've been without those guys all year. Tough loss, though, I think, for the Suns. Like, kind of need it. They're okay in their last 10, but need to get back on track a little bit if they're going to keep pace in the Western Conference. Speaking of teams in the Western Conference, Nuggets get the win 136-120. Cover this over on Locked On Nuggets. Not exactly a defensive battle, but Nikola Jokic was absolutely sublime in this one, Swipa.
Yeah. What was it? 17 assists that he had today. It was a season high. Yeah. I mean, probably saw me in the timeline. I couldn't believe Jonas Valanciunas kept getting minutes in this game. This is just not the kind of Jonas game that I think needs to exist, given how Chicago plays. Chicago gets threes up against Denver.
Yeah.
You would think the Nuggets are better versus OKC than they are versus Chicago in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking. Like, they cannot guard Chicago. Chicago puts up 53s every time they see Denver.
Yeah, I actually attribute a lot of that to the lineups that were around him. If you kind of notice, it's like JV was okay if you put any size around him, but the Nuggets don't have any size, right? So they're running 3-guard lineups, and that's a huge problem. I actually said on Locked On Nuggets, I think they should have played Zeke more because they should have switched a little bit more in this one. I actually would have liked to have seen the two big lineup and just smash them on the interior with Jokic and Val. Them losing the offensive rebound battle was terrible tonight, but Jokic is great enough. Cam Johnson had a good game in his return. Jamal Murray, another great night. Tweaked his hip, should be okay, according to David Adelman. Nuggets get the win, snap their 3-game losing streak, 136 to 120. This should have been a game that we led with, but I couldn't justify doing it. Rockets get the win, 112-106 over the Thunder. No Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, no Jalen Williams, no AJ Mitchell, and it showed up with the amount of sloppiness that the Thunder played with offensively in this game. They had 16 turnovers in this game, 20 fouls. Kevin Durant goes for 20 points on 6 of 10 shooting. They were putting 2 on KD every single time. And so he was passing and kicking out, and they got great contributions from Tari Eason, who had 26 points. Jabari Smith Jr. had 22, 3 threes in this one, got to the line for 11 free throws. But I don't want to dog the Rockets because you get a win any way you can. And they had Noah Man Thompson in this one. He was sick. They lost Steven Adams and Fred VanVleet, but those guys aren't coming back. Chemistry still, I have serious questions about the chemistry with this team. They got the win, so I don't want to sit here and complain about it, but it's just this was a real up and down and in doubt game against a Thunder team missing their 3 best on-ball players. Şengün had a good game, 17, 12, and 11, 6 of 12 from the field and plus 13. I continue to worry about the chemistry with this team a lot. KD was frustrated with Jabari Smith Jr. and Reed Shepard. He was really frustrated with Reed Shepard, who had a bad game in this one. 16 points, 7 and 12 shooting, but the defense was so bad. I'm just not real confident in the Rockets formula right now.
Well, down the stretch of the game, KD was sitting in the corner to get out of the way because they found it easier to just put KD in the corner instead of trying to beat that double coverage he's getting. Şengün is just not a good enough offensive hub, I think, to really make KD to accentuate the things that he does well. Reed did make some good plays down the stretch. I want to give him credit. By the way, Tari Eason had 2 huge offensive rebounds down the stretch of this game that ended up helping flip the score of the game as well. Jabari Smith made some huge baskets. But, yeah, it's just you would hope that this team, especially given how they've looked lately, that they would have performed better versus a team like OKC that's really lacking all their offensive talent, for at least a lot of their offensive talent. But they got the win, man. But I'm not very enthused with how, like I said, with how Şengün and KD look and how they work together. Remember, this is a far cry from the start of the year when they first played, and Şengün had 39 points and 6 made threes.
Yeah, not great. Well, it's great. Charlotte Hornets get the win again, 126 to 119 over the Atlanta Hawks. In this one, Concanipple, 23 points, 6 threes in this game. Brandon Miller chips in 16 points on an inefficient 5 of 19 shooting. LaMelo, 7 of 20, 19 points, 9 assists. It really kind of, in this game, honestly came down to the bench unit was really, I thought, really good, legitimately, for the Hornets. James in particular, was, I thought, really impactful defensively in this game. They started Musa Diabate again. Kalkbrenner's coming off the bench. Musa continues to be really great. About 11 points and 15 rebounds from Musa Diabate, who's just like a dog. Jalen Johnson, 31 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Looked a little bit better from him. Hawks were in this game, but then the Hornets hit him with a flurry late to go ahead and pull away in this one. They win 126-119.
Yeah, just what a turnaround for the Hornets. I am of the mindset that I think they're going to give somebody problems in the first round this year. That's how much I believe in them. And go ahead.
Do you think they can get out of the play-in?
Yes. They're scheduled to play Atlanta right now or the Heat?
Well, I guess my question is, I'm asking, can they get top 6?
Oh, top 6.
Yeah. That's how hot they are. Because they're still, let's see, there's 6 games back in the loss column from the Sixers.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of winning. I wouldn't say that. I'm in my head saying they're going to be the 7 seed. And if you told me if the Celtics are in the 2 seed,
that'd be tough. Yeah, that'd be tough. That's a tough matchup for sure. What does playoff LaMelo look like? It's an interesting question.
Whoa. What does playoff Con Canupo look like, brother?
Yeah. Finally, I mentioned this game, but I'll go ahead and just note it. Nets get the win over the Wizards in a very sad game that, like, the Wizards started Tristan Vukcevic, who I really like, but has not played much this year. Jameer Watkins played 45 minutes in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Keshawn Gilbert, who was a person I didn't know existed until today, played 28 minutes. I always love when I discover that people exist in late season NBA games. Daron Sharp was a plus 26. Drake Powell was a plus 24. That's the most hilarious part. The Nets starters were all negative and plus minus, and they still won this game by double digits.
Yeah.
Hilarious game.
Yeah, man. Shout out, man. Shout out to the Nets and Wizards. Tank off.
The one thing from watching this game that I will say I liked Sharif Cooper for the Wizards a little bit. I liked him a little bit. That's gonna do it for Locked On NBA Game Night. I appreciate you guys being with us. Have yourselves a great Sunday. Enjoy that game. We'll be back tomorrow night with more coverage of every game on the NBA slate. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe, download, etc., etc. Have a great weekend. See you guys again next time on Locked On NBA Game Night. Woo! Sharif Cooper. Didn't know I was going to talk about Sharif Cooper when I woke up this morning.